Day one. I didn't do a video today, so I'll just be recording this and sharing a quick update. Maybe tomorrow I'll start shooting videos. So yesterday, after we did the video, Dan and I, about us separating and consciously uncoupling.
That's right, baby. Gotta get to the airport.
Thanks, honey.
You're welcome.
We drove to the airport, to Phoenix Airport. I have the crows here this morning. Very nice. Drove to the airport, and it's 2 hours away, and dropped him off, kissed, 3-4 tears, like just the reality of the separation. And then I got in the truck and put the navigation on, and took me a little while to get out of the city. And I had expected to really fall apart at that moment, after leaving Dan. And I was so surprised, because about 30 minutes out of town, with all the open spaces opening in front of me, I felt guilty for feeling so good. I put my favorite Bob Dylan at Budokan. I have a few songs in there that just reach me to my soul. And I sang, and something in me felt like it was free. It's not to put down or diminish the love or anything that we had, but it kind of told me something to the effect that this is right, Annie, and you don't have to break down. You don't have to fall apart. You will, I know I will, but it doesn't have to be like that all the time. You're allowed to feel proud. You're allowed to feel free. You're allowed to feel good and find joy and look for the good, because if you made this decision, it's because your highest self figured it was for the better. So anyway, and when I got closer to Sedona, still singing, I decided to stop at Oak Creek. There's a place I know where you can go swimming, and when Dan and I were here, we lived here, I think like we mentioned, during COVID, we lived here for 6 months. And we loved going to the creek. And even though I was exhausted, I decided to stop at the creek and put my bathing suit on. And I actually went and sat by the creek and dunked myself, like in a symbolic baptism of sorts. And it felt really good. So, didn't sleep too well last night, but this morning I had my first cup of morning beverage. I don't drink coffee, but it's a blend that I make that's delicious. And I did go for a hike. And hiking is always my nature, whether it's a gentle walk or sitting or hiking, it is my salvation. It's my source. It's my fuel. It touches me like so deep in my soul when I walk into nature. And like within 10 minutes, and within 2 minutes, start smelling the pinyon trees. And there's still flowers here this spring because it was such a wet winter. And it was just like, it filled me up. And within 10 minutes of walking, I started crying. And it was a blend of joy for being with nature and peace, and the sadness and the heartbreak of the reality that here I was alone starting this new chapter. So that was my day one and the conclusion of the actual separation yesterday. And this is We separated 9 days. I think I mentioned it in the previous video. Separated 9 days before a 9-year anniversary. And it's pretty symbolic too. So that's it for today. Ups and downs, but something in me is telling me this was the right thing. We made the right choice. I heard the calling, and I applaud the courage that it took me to actually do it. Because callings, we hear them in our lives, and sometimes they are so scary, and they imply so much change and so much uncertainty and so much chaos and so much fear that we find a way to say maybe later or be quiet, not like the crow. Yes, crow. And this time, like a few other major times in my life, I followed through. And even if I'm scared, I want to take a moment to celebrate the fact that I did it. That's it. See you later.